The United States is already a net exporter of oil, but what if I told you that they could produce more, weakening the pre-existing oil conglomerates that rule the markets today? The United States have the resources to produce more oil than any other country in the world, so what's stopping them? Oil prices over the last several weeks have seen record lows due to a political bout between foreign conglomerates, Russia and Saudi Arabia, and I wanted to learn more about that and the US's oil production and how we could become more efficient. Today I want to take you and look at how the US should continue to produce more oil and the steps that they need to take to do that. So let's begin by discussing a couple reasons why the US needs to produce more oil. Some of the problems with our current oil production limits are our oil dependency on OPEC, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and some other foreign countries. Being an oil importer leaves the United States vulnerable to outside influence of other countries' politics and economic affairs. Take the recent dispute between Russia and Saudi Arabia, for example. As the political climate worsens, the U.S. gets stuck in between when they are importing oil and their markets are impacted and their prices go down. According to CNBC, the oil prices in America could see at least a 10% decline if they continue to have this dispute, and that could cause a great hit to the U.S. economy and the oil sector. This is the average price of gas in America today, and that is substantially lower than it has been in several years, and as long as the price per barrel continues to drop, then our price per gallon is going to continue to drop as well. The hit to the oil market could cause the U.S. to lose its spot as the top oil producer, and with the recent halts in travel worldwide due to the coronavirus, it was imperative that President Trump and other foreign leaders got together to reach an agreement that would lessen production of oil for the time being. That way the supply and demand could reach the equilibrium. And these talks in the early stages created a lot of tension between Russia and Saudi Arabia, causing a decrease in price along with an increase in production, which was counterintuitive for the time. According to an article written by the American Geosciences, America is involved because Russia has decided to target the sanctions placed on them by the U.S. And also, the U.S. stalled the completion of an oil pipeline agreement between Russia and Europe that would have increased Russia's foothold in a natural gas market in Europe. So now that we've discussed a couple of the reasons why the U.S. needs to produce more oil, let's discuss a couple of the ways that they could go about doing this. Here's a small map of Canada and Alaska, and I want to focus more on the Alaskan and the northern regions of Beaufort Sea and the Chukchi Sea. Alaska still has a lot of unused land that could be used for oil production, and as the increase in demand for oil increases domestically and abroad over the next several years, it is important for America to be able to maintain their supply and maintain their reserves. As more and more of the inhabited oil-producing areas mature and run out of oil in the state, it still has over 1.6 million acres of northern coastal plain that can be leased by oil companies, according to the Energy and Information Association. The U.S. Geological Survey estimates that about 1.6 million acres hold approximately 10.4 billion barrels of crude oil, and that's a lot of oil. New pipelines from the Permian Basin of the Gulf Coast could increase U.S. oil exports as well, and oil experts say that the 3 million barrels a day could increase by 1 million this year in 2020 and another million in 2021, according to Patty Dahm at CNBC. And by ensuring the longevity of these pipelines, production in the Permian Basin could double to almost 8 million barrels a day by 2023. And this would solidify the U.S. as the world's leading exporter of oil and bring in millions and hundreds of millions of dollars to the U.S. economy, which would strengthen the value of the dollar worldwide and just bring more stability to the U.S.'s economy as a whole. So now, to summarize what we have discussed today, let's take a short second and recap it all. Oil production around the world is very complicated, but as foreign powers such as Saudi Arabia and Russia continue to have political disputes over supply and demand, it is essential for someone, the United States, to have enough supply to export to the rest of the world and maintain a constant oil price. As oil prices continue to drop as a result of global pandemics and political ploys, the U.S.'s role as a major exporter could yield millions. There is still a ton of untouched land in Alaska, as well as options to increase productivity of pre-existing drilling zones in Texas and other southern states, and the Gulf of Mexico that could double the production per day in the next couple of years. Oil is not going to be phased out as a major energy source for years to come, so why not squeeze all that we can out of it and ensure that we and our allies have plenty of resources in case of a rainy day? Thank you.